You're watching The Edward Fowler Show. Now, here's your host, Edward Fowler.
A very good evening to anyone who's tuning in tonight here on the 17th of February 2025. It's a pleasure to have on this next guest, and I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show this evening, and I want to, of course, pass on my condolences to you, Tony, as well, because I know I was told on Friday that we may have to postpone today, and then I find out that you were willing to commit to the scheduled interviews you said you would do. So I do appreciate your time this evening.
Circumstances have changed slightly. My son's going into hospital to have an operation, but they got postponed, would you believe?
Got you. Well, I hope it all, when it does eventually happen, I hope everything goes smoothly for your son.
Thank you very much.
No, you're welcome. But no, it's a wonderful pleasure to have you on here, because you know it's a privilege, and I want to say thank you to you again. And you know, when you were given the opportunity to come on my small show tonight, did you Google me or check out any content of mine before you accepted, or you thought, why not?
No, not well. No, I've not really had the time today, really, because I've been busy doing other interviews, and obviously I've got my family to sort of look after and so forth. But I'm taking a risk that you're going to be gentle with me. So
I will be. I will be very gentle. Yes. Yes. I won't ask you anything out of the ordinary or anything like that. But I do like. I got to say before we jump into anything else, I do like the background of your room. You decided to join us from. I do like your stylus. I'm going to say I do like it.
Well, this room is my little room where I do all of my own work, my writing and my recording, and I'm accompanied here by my little school of guitars, because I'm a bit of a guitar fetishist, I'm afraid, and I like guitars. Although I'm a bass player, I've only got 6 bass guitars, but I've got lots more guitars.
Interesting. That's interesting for sure. Have you got a go-to of a guitar you like to play?
Oh, no, it's like asking if I got a go-to child. You can't say that.
Love it.
No, each guitar has its own place here for different reasons, but I've just finished recording, which I might sort of elaborate on later if you will allow me. And every time I get an inspiration, I just choose a guitar that looks right, and I pick it up and I play it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're more welcome to tease us or drop any hints, whatever you like to do, Tony. You're more than welcome to, because you are my guest, and I want to make sure you are able to do whatever you want to do if you're at home. If this is your home, basically.
Yes, thank you. Well, it's good to be on your show. Thank you very much for inviting me.
No, thank you again. And let's talk about what the main reason why you're here this evening, because you're here to talk about Parkinson's, and you've all, yes, yourself and many other great legends in the industry have come together for this album. And I got to say, I do like the cover art, and it came out on Friday the 14th of February on Valentine's Day. I think that's a good way to send out the message, think loud for Parkinson. So can you elaborate on how you got involved with this project, and was it an easy yes to be a part of it?
Yes, on all scores. I'll elaborate. As you know, and hopefully your listeners may remember, I used to play in a band called Big Country, and the manager of said band is a chap called Ian Grant, who unfortunately suffers from Parkinson's disease. And because we've been almost lifelong friends, we're no longer working together as such, but we're lifelong friends. When I knew that, or when I was told that he was putting this particular project together, I would be always the first one to put my hand up and say, I'd like to help in any particular way that I can. And when he first came up with the idea for the single called Think Loud, and then sort of forming his idea of a group called Kindred Spirits, I wasn't really available to help him record that first single. but I was involved in the video that ensued the single, and kind of people sort of recognized me from from my part in that, and I just thought, well, it's nice to have some part in it.
Yeah.
But I've watched Ian Grant deteriorate over the past 6, 8 years, and I think it's horrible that it should happen to nice people. Nice people always end up hurt in some way, and him developing Parkinson's is very unfair. But I think it's important for anybody who gets any kind of debilitating disease that they are able to turn to somebody for help, advice, and when charity drives like this, which are there basically to raise awareness and raise funds, I mean they're there for a reason. It's there for people like me. I mean, I'm 68 years old now. I don't have Parkinson's. I'm very lucky. But if I did, I'd like to think that there is an agency or an organization out there that either me or my family could turn to for help and advice. And ultimately, you're looking for a cure if there is. But if there's no cure, you need those sort of organizations there in order to hopefully that they will, through research, experimentation, come up with something that's going to help people who've got this horrible thing. And it's one of the reasons why I'm doing it, because I'd like to think that my colleague Ian Grant will soon find something like that. He's had a lot of help from Cure for Parkinson's as it is, which has motivated him to do this charity drive and fundraiser. And I'm happy to sort of coast along with him. And my involvement on a physical level is just literally one of the tracks on the album, which is one of the kindred spirits of the crazy lockdown of Arthur, of crazy lockdown, the crazy, the crazy world of lockdown, of which I feature on a track that features Arthur Brown, who's a 60s legend, and a few colleagues from my musical past, Josh Phillips, who, we've worked together on different things over the years, particularly Big Country. And it's nice to be involved with a bunch of people who are not normally recognized for being on such like projects. And the whole album is littered with great people who are not necessarily headline names, but there are good people who have made great contributions to British and European and American rock music.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree with you. And there's been statistics as well. Like every hour, two people are in the UK are told that they have Parkinson's. 153,000 people currently living with it, and 8.5 million globally. And 1 in 3 adults, that are just over 16 million people, not just know someone with Parkinson's, but also have a personal connection to it as well. 1 in 37 people also in the UK are predicted to receive a diagnosis in their lifetime, and it's amazing as well because they say they can detect it up to 15 years before the actual symptoms began, which is just astonishing.
Yeah.
For sure. So I'm hoping that this raises more awareness, because we all have heard about Parkinson's and other conditions, but I feel like it doesn't always get the attention it should get. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
No, I'm very much in agreement with that, but I also think that sometimes when you get projects like this, it kind of enters people's ear through one ear and it goes out the other, because it doesn't directly affect them. And it's not until it affects them that then they want to get interested, which, I understand, we're all human beings. But there's sometimes when people just have to sit back and say, well, this is happening to so many people so quickly. It's something that's going on in our lifetimes that's just getting worse and worse. And really, the world is in a sort of unstable situation, let alone with something like Parkinson's, breathing its nasty smells all over us. And, if we can find a way, if the research is put in place, if the money is found, then, hopefully it might be a disease that they can actually do something about, because there's a lot of stuff out there that's still not helping the human race at all. I mean, as we spoke about at the top of this segment, that one of my families is going through a very, very hard situation with cancer, and cancer research has gone on for so long and got so far that it's the chances of recovering from cancer are now an awful lot better. But Parkinson's is way behind, and something like this hopefully will bring it more to the fore and make people sort of think, well, if I'm going to get Parkinson's, I'd like to know that there's somebody out there who can help me. So
Yeah.
this is worthwhile getting involved with.
Yeah, absolutely, and I completely agree with you. I think that the I guess the path for research and trying to find some sort of either cure or some kind of way to treat it, to slow it right down, I think it's, as you say, it's quite behind, and I completely agree with that assessment from you, Tony. And I know
Yeah.
that the vinyl version as well is coming out on the 21st of February. You also mentioned about that there is a video as well which you are involved in. Uh,
Yeah.
how exciting was that you've been able to participate in the video?
Well, as I say, my motivation is purely through my association with Ian Grant, who's put
Hmm.
all of this together. And I'm happy to do anything for him because he's a friend. He's furnished me through his talents with a great career in music with my ex band Big Country, and this is a small return really for what he's done for me. So my involvement is very, very personal. Uh, as I say, I'm lucky I haven't got Parkinson's. Nobody else that I know has Parkinson's, but I'm sure one day that'll come. But at least I'll be able to say, well, look, I know where you can go to get some good advice, and which will help you through it. And hopefully, in time, there will be a cure for this nasty little thing.
Yeah, yeah, no, I completely agree with you. You mentioned earlier about
Hmm.
if I allow you to talk about your other recordings and other projects you're currently working on. You are more than welcome to let my viewers slash listeners know about that, because I know
Well,
it's something you are passionate about, and I would love to give you the opportunity to give that time to you now.
well, I think because I've sort of retired from the music industry, I don't get much of an opportunity to sort of to do public speaking like this, and it's nice to have the opportunity to one help support my friend and bring awareness. But I'm still
Absolutely.
a I'm a retired person, but I still write songs and I can't stop. And every now and again, I have to sort of decide whether to sort of release something because I've basically got too many songs. I'm writing so much, and it has to have some sort of outlet. But I shall be releasing an album at the end of April, um, called "No Profit in a Peaceful World," and also I'm gonna, and because it's myself, this is it's an album recorded by me. Nobody else is on it, but also I'm the record company as well. So I'm going to actually do something I've never done before in my life, and it's probably um, I was impressed with the lineup of product for the Think Cloud Cure for Cancer product that's coming out to support it. I'm actually going to do some vinyl as well. I've never done vinyl on my own projects, so I'm going to have vinyl as well. In fact, so good, it's got to be a double album because
Ooh.
there's a lot of songs.
Well, as you say, you've done it for so many years, and then when you're retired, you get that itch to to continue writing. And you think, oh, this is so good, I have to release it. So I'm glad you are
Mm,
continuing to release albums and singles. So it's good, and I hope you
yeah,
don't stop after this album. And I hope that your fans will enjoy what you have produced, and hopefully will deliver
well,
on their expectations, because hopefully they'll enjoy any music from you.
I think it's an affliction of being a creative songwriter. I mean, just because I've retired doesn't mean I can stop doing that. But what it does mean is that if I want to release something, I've got to kind of drag myself into the music industry
Yeah, to
to
do
get
it.
to promote it. So
Yeah.
it's kind of six of one and half a dozen of the other. But again, it's I've always loved music. I've always loved creating music, playing music, producing music, and I hope that my fingers will keep supple enough to enable me to play guitar until my time is up.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure you got many more decades to come yet, Tony.
I hope so. I hope so.
But have you got any talking about the of course the Parkinson's bit? I just want to recap on where people can donate and as well to purchase the album and any of the singles or even a video as well. Is there any place you know of where people can go to?
Well, I think the video is on YouTube. So if you just put Think Loud or if you put Parkinson's, I'm sure those buzzwords will take you to the video. The single and digital download of the album is available. That will obviously be in abundance.
Yeah.
I know that the CD, the physical CD, is available for purchase, but that's on a limited basis as well. So if you want one of those, you need to sort of get that one quick. Where you purchase that one from, I can't be certain. I've not been furnished with that detail.
Yeah.
But and as you said earlier on, the vinyl is available as well, but that's going to be limited edition as well. So if you want any of those formats, they're all out now. They're all available. The world has changed since I used to buy records because you could go to a record shop. I'm not sure you can go to that these days.
Well, I don't know.
But,
I don't know. There is well, there's a shop near where I live, and they have lots of records. So you never know. You might pop up in one of these
real records.
Yeah.
Well, it's whether then their distribution is good enough to get those records into the shops. But if you want all the information you need, and this is for your listeners as well, if you just go to their site, which is Cure for Cancer, you should get all the information you need there.
Thank you so much for that, Tony.
Excellent.
Oh, go on.
Sorry, no, I thought you were cutting out there.
No. No. I was just waiting to see you add something else there, but I was going to say, have you got any goals for this year? Because one of them goals is releasing your new stuff in end of April. Have you got any other goals for this year?
No, cool, that's enough, isn't it? I'm an old man now. I can't be doing all that. When my album's released, it will be released in digital form as well, CD form, and then obviously in vinyl form. As I said, it's got to be a double vinyl because there's so many songs. There's 14 songs, and I don't write 3-minute songs, I'm afraid.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Your songs are unique, and I think that's why people like listening to your music because sometimes people can get bored of those 3-minute songs. People want more, so you're giving them more, which I think is good.
Well, I'd like to think that like good albums that I grew up with, you listen to an album once, twice, 3 times, and by the time you hit the 50th time, you're still hearing things that you didn't realize, from your first listens. So hopefully they've all got depth, and the subject matters throughout. And it's not a concept album, but I'm living in this modern age, and I'm not liking it very well, and I'm just expressing my thoughts and feelings about it. And that's also because I've got an investment in the future. I've got kids, I've got grandkids, and from being sort of starry-eyed and very, very positive about how life might have been when I was a teenager, now I'm reaching, the latter stages of one's life. I'm not feeling as optimistic, and I felt as I just needed to make a statement about it, which is why I've used this particular title, because we are living in a world that seems to be totally built on greed and the greedy.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there as well, and it's funny as that, but there's a lot of uncertainty in the world as well at the moment, isn't there? And it seems to be going.
There's too much uncertainty, and what it boils down to is greed.
Yeah, no, it
and
is.
And I don't want to get political about it, but it's just greed. Everything that's going on in the world is about the greedy and the richest people doing what they want at the expense of everybody else, and I'm afraid that there's this thing called lack of humanity and no sanctity in life that some people are just ignoring, and that's not a great way to engage in what we're supposed to be doing on this earth, which is just being like flowers.
Yeah,
Just be born, grow, show a lovely light, show a lovely color, and then when it's time to go, go gracefully. And that's my album in a nutshell.
I like that. That's a good look on life, Tony, and I think a lot of people will like it and will be supporting you, and you'll get more new listeners as well.
Well, that's one of the good things about doing this type of thing. I haven't done this sort of thing for years, but I have to say, because I've got such a good subject to try and promote, it makes it very pleasurable and very worthwhile.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree with you, and you know, I hope that it resonates with many of your fans and even new fans, and hopefully, as you say, I think we need
Hmm.
positivity on the earth, don't we? I think we all need to be
Yeah,
positive with each other because again, we only got one life, and we need to
exactly.
live it to the fullest in a caring and friendly way.
Absolutely. And I advocate that with this album, but it's kind of been a mantra of my whole life.
Yeah,
I'm here. Let me enjoy myself, and when it's time for me to go, I'll go gracefully. But don't push me, or don't do something to me that I don't really need, and only because you want to try and make a profit out of me not being here. And
mm.
that's how we should all look at life.
Yeah, yeah. No, I do. I agree with you. You mentioned before about when you were in your teenage years, you had
Um,
a vision for how you think the world will be in years to come. How has
mm.
that vision gone for yourself after envisioning it many years? Because we all do it, don't we? We all do it in school. Like, well, what do you think will be happening in 50 years from now? Where do you think you'll be in 50 years and whatnot? And uh, do you remember what you envisioned back then?
Well, I certainly didn't envisage a lack of humanity. I didn't envisage people having such disregard for human life. I didn't envisage there'd be so much um, pestilence and illnesses and disease.
Yeah.
And I certainly believed John Lennon, and that's all gone now.
Mm.
What's taken its place is all the things I have aforementioned.
Yeah.
We are living in those sort of biblical terms of, you know, I'm here talking about Parkinson's, but that's just part of the pestilence that has inhabited the world with all sorts of things
Mm.
going on. John Lennon had a lovely, lovely view of life and wanting people to sort of look at other ways of sorting out people's differences
Yeah.
and without resorting to violence. But I don't think John, or if he did, he certainly didn't have a chance to comment on it, thinking that because you've got so much money, you can do what you like. And
Yeah.
if you want to kill somebody, you'll kill somebody
Yeah.
because it doesn't suit you or you're not going to make a profit from it. And I don't think John really had a vision of that because it wasn't apparent at the time.
Mm. I know. Very
So
sad.
basically, people like me are just sort of trying to continue the sort of the words and the work of John Lennon, who, if we had his vision, this world would have been a better place. But who knows?
And not just that, but also is the legacy of those who have come before you as well, and those who are unable to continue that, like with Parkinson's as well, because some days you have good days and there's many bad days, and it's always about living up to that person's expectations and carrying on their legacy as much as you can, isn't it? And I think you're doing a great job of
Yes.
that.
Well, I can only do what I do, and my platform isn't very large these days. But when we had a platform, when Big Country were
Yeah.
at their height, it's the way we felt, but we didn't feel the need to make them platform issues because we weren't that kind of band.
No.
But
Good.
as an individual, I think I can sort of speak for myself and but show that music is about awareness full stop.
Yeah.
It's about awareness of other people's talents, other subjects, different viewpoints. But it's not soapboxing. It's not political because that doesn't get anybody anywhere anyway. So
Mhm. No, I agree with
it's
you.
awareness.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. Completely agree with you. No, I'm going to disagree with any statements you've made this evening because I because I completely agree. Talk to us about your social media. You're on some social media, which is good, and I found you. I've tagged you on Facebook and Instagram. You can find my guest Tony Butler TB on both. I do like the TB at the end. I do like that. And does it mean anything? The TB? I'm just out of curiosity. I know it's your initials. I think it means, but it could mean something else.
It's what everybody calls me.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I've always been TB to people, so when you're looking for handles for things like websites and stuff and emails, it's quite easy. So, if you want to find me, I'm not only Tony Butler, I'm Tony Butler TB. So,
the one and only.
the one and only.
But before we end this chat, I want to give the floor to you. If there's anything else you would like to mention or think that you should get off your chest, which I've been mentioned or brought up, I want to give the last word to you, Mr. Butler. TB.
Well, thank you for that. But I think we've covered a lot. But I will just reiterate:
yes,
charity drives, charity albums aren't just people trying to make names for themselves through the medium of music. It's heartfelt. It's people who want to try and make people aware of something that will happen to them or happen to somebody they know, and that there should be a chance for those who suffer from any of these debilitating diseases that there's somewhere or somebody that they can turn to get information. And I think it's really important that people like myself who've got an opportunity to say things out loud through the radio waves or digital waves to sort of say, don't suffer in silence. Get out there and find out. And for those who are not suffering, don't ignore. If you can, put your hand in your pocket, even if you don't want to buy the product. Go onto the website for Cure for Cancer, Cure, numerical for Parkinson, sorry. Then you go there and find out a bit more, read about it, know what agencies are out there for help, and also where to donate. So that's my little bit for this section.
Absolutely, Tony, and it's a pleasure. And there is again the Think Loud for Parkinson's, the graphic on your screen as well there. But it's an absolute joy to have you on the show, Tony. And as you said at the start, I hope I'll go easy on you. Do you think I've done a good job there, or was I a bit harsh?
You've done very well, sir. Thank you very much.
Oh, fantastic. Glad to hear. And if you enjoyed the episode with my guest, Tony, then make sure to smash that like button, share the video around, tell me about Tony Butler, tell me more about the great cause for Parkinson's as well. Some great legends involved in the project as well. And buy a copy. You know, you're supporting the Parkinson's, you're not supporting the individual, you're supporting the cure and for the charity, and as well for the, I guess, to spread awareness about it, because either yourself or someone you know is going through this particular disease, and it is not very nice at all. But I want to say thank you again for your time tonight, and if you also want to see more episodes of my channel, then make sure to smash that subscribe button as well. And I hope to see you all in the next episode, which will be on Wednesday.